Hash the unexpected connection. The morning sun filtered through the tall windows of the Blackwood mansion, casting golden streaks across the marble floors. Sarah Martinez adjusted her light blue uniform nervously, smoothing down the white apron that felt foreign against her waist. She had never worked as a maid before, but when her sister Emma called in sick with the flu, Sarah couldn't bear the thought of her losing this important job. Just for today, she whispered to herself, checking her reflection in the hallway mirror. The name tag read, E. Martinez. Close enough, she hoped. Emma had given her a quick rundown over the phone. Dust the main rooms, organize the playroom, and stay out of Mr. Blackwood's way. He was apparently some big-shot CEO who worked from home and didn't like interruptions. Sarah picked up her cleaning supplies and began her rounds. The house was enormous, with high ceilings and elegant furniture that probably cost more than her monthly rent. Everything gleamed with quiet luxury, from the crystal chandeliers to the imported rugs beneath her feet. She worked methodically, the soft swish of her cloth against surfaces creating a peaceful rhythm. As she entered the main living area, a crash echoed from somewhere deeper in the house, followed by the sound of a child crying. Sarah froze, her hand still holding the feather duster. Emma hadn't mentioned anything about children. The crying continued, high-pitched and heartbroken, tugging at something deep in Sarah's chest. She knew she should mind her own business. Emma had been very clear about that. But the crying went on, and Sarah found her feet carrying her toward the sound before her mind could stop them. Following the hallway, she discovered a large playroom where a little boy, maybe 4 years old, sat surrounded by scattered building blocks. Tears streamed down his flushed cheeks as he clutched a gray stuffed elephant to his chest. The tower he'd been building lay in ruins around him. "Hey there," Sarah said softly, kneeling down to his level. "What happened, sweetheart?" The boy looked up at her with wide, watery eyes. "My tower fell down," he hiccuped. "I was making it for Daddy, but it's all broken now." Sarah's heart melted. She set down her cleaning supplies and sat cross-legged on the soft carpet. "You know what? I bet we can build an even better one together. What's your name?" "Tommy," he whispered, wiping his nose with the back of his hand. "Hi, Tommy, I'm Sarah." She reached for some of the scattered blocks. "Tell me about this elephant. He looks very special." Tommy's face brightened slightly. "This is Mr. Peanuts. Mommy gave him to me before she went to heaven. He helps me when I'm sad." The words hit Sarah like a gentle wave. This little boy had lost his mother. No wonder he seemed so fragile, so in need of comfort. "Mr. Peanuts looks like a very good friend," she said carefully. "I bet he'd love to help us build this tower." For the next hour, Sarah forgot all about her cleaning duties. She and Tommy built towers, created bridges, and constructed an entire city of blocks. The little boy's laughter filled the room, replacing the earlier tears. He chattered about his favorite colors, his love for elephants, and how his daddy worked, lots and lots, but made the best pancakes on Sundays. "The tower's even bigger now," Tommy exclaimed, clapping his hands as they placed the final block on top. "That's because we worked together," Sarah said, gently tucking a strand of his hair behind his ear. "Teamwork makes everything better." "What's going on here?" The deep voice from the doorway made Sarah's blood freeze. She turned to see a tall man in a navy suit, his dark hair slightly disheveled, his expression unreadable. This had to be Mr. Blackwood, and he did not look pleased. "Daddy." Tommy jumped up and ran to his father. "Look what me and Sarah built. She's really nice, and she knows all about making towers that don't fall down." Mr. Blackwood's eyes moved from his son to Sarah, who was now standing awkwardly among the toys, her face burning with embarrassment. "I'm sorry, Mr. Blackwood," she began. "I heard Tommy crying, and I just—" "Where's Emma?" His voice was controlled but stern. Sarah's mouth went dry. "She's sick." "I'm her sister, Sarah. I was just covering her shift for today." The truth tumbled out before she could stop it. "I know I shouldn't have left my work, but he was so upset." For a long moment, silence filled the room. Sarah waited for the anger, for the dismissal, for everything to crumble like Tommy's first tower. Instead, Mr. Blackwood's expression slowly softened as he looked at his son, who was beaming up at both adults with pure joy. "Tommy hasn't laughed like that in weeks," he said quietly, almost to himself. Then, Louder, I'm Marcus Blackwood. And you actually got him to stop crying. Sarah nodded, uncertain. He just needed someone to listen. He's a wonderful little boy. Marcus ran a hand through his hair, suddenly looking younger and far more vulnerable than his expensive suit suggested. I've tried everything. New nannies, toys, activities. Nothing seems to help. He's been having such a hard time since. He trailed off, glancing at Tommy. Since Mommy went to heaven, Tommy finished matter-of-factly. But Sarah made me feel better. Can she stay and play more? The hope in the child's voice was unmistakable. Marcus looked at Sarah with new eyes, seeing not just a replacement maid, but someone who had managed to reach his son in a way no one else had been able to. I don't know anything about being a nanny, Sarah said honestly. I work at a daycare center usually. I love kids. And Tommy reminds me of my nephew. A daycare center, Marcus repeated thoughtfully. So you know about children. She knows about everything, Tommy declared, tugging on his father's jacket. She knows about elephants and building and making sad feelings go away. Marcus knelt down to his son's level. Would you like Sarah to come back tomorrow? Tommy nodded so enthusiastically his whole body wiggled. Yes, yes, yes. Marcus stood and looked at Sarah directly. I know this isn't what you came here to do today, but would you consider helping us out? Not as a maid, as someone who can be here for Tommy. He clearly responds to you in a way he hasn't with anyone else. Sarah looked down at Tommy, who was clutching Mr. Peanuts and gazing up at her with such hope it made her chest tight. Then she looked at Marcus, seeing past the expensive suit to the tired father underneath, someone who was trying his best in an impossible situation. I'd love to help, she said simply. As the afternoon sun continued to stream through the windows, Sarah realized that sometimes the most unexpected detours lead us exactly where we're meant to be. She had come here to clean a house, but instead, she had found something far more precious, a chance to make a real difference in the lives of two people who needed her most. Tommy was already pulling her toward his toy box, chattering excitedly about all the games they would play tomorrow. And for the first time in months, Marcus Blackwood smiled as he watched his son come alive again.